Hello guys, how you doing? I hope this message makes you well in good health. If you want to know the reason why the great country called Nigeria is not moving forward, you must first take a two step backward to history to trace the genesis of the problem we currently face. All this issue we are facing today was a result of the wrong foundation that was laid years ago. Nobody plant corn and expect to reap cocoa. It is not done, right? While other countries are planning 10 years ahead, 20 years ahead, Nigeria always live for today, right? That is why we are here. There was a city president who once said, the money is not a problem in Nigeria. The problem is how to spend it. That is to tell you how rich Nigeria was. At the time in this country, the naira was bigger than dollars and even the pounds, right? So if you sit down to check about Nigeria, you understand. Even that time when someone said that the money is not the problem, it's how to spend it is the problem, Nigeria was not having light. That's to tell you that our priorities has always been wrong, right? While Dubai was having vision 2030, 2050, Nigeria had no vision. It has always been hard to amass wealth for personal gains, family gains, to be rich. Leadership is all about amassing wealth in Nigeria. How to oppress the poor, how to be the richest man in Nigeria and Africa. That's what they has always think towards. That is why we're currently here. Only few leaders wanted the best for this country. Others just want the country to be Islamized by all means. That is why we are here, right? Only few leaders were actually goal-driven. And one of those leaders is Awolowo, who was the premier of the Western region. He did his possible best to put Nigeria on track, but his goals to the lane leaders then was unreached, right? He campaigned, he even wanted to be president. You know how Nigeria is. They always find a way to give power to those who are not fit to hold the bat of power. That is the people they feel can govern. Even those people who are visionaries, they are not loved. They are not given the privilege of leadership. Awolowo built Wafemi Awolowo University. He built one of the first radio, right? His goal was all about education. The inequality in the north today was first visualized by Wafemi Awolowo, who went to the north to campaign all across the north because he saw the widening between education and those people who were against Western education. He warned the north about it, but the northern elite saw it as an insult to them, right? And they were happy with the fact that the gap between education in the north was widening because the few elites wanted to consolidate power, right? In the south, while in the south and around all the western region, it was different. Education was provided for all Westerners. So everybody in the West were going to school. They were encouraged to go to school. While in the North, it was all about religion, and education was never a thing. And Awolowo won. If you watch the last interview Awolowo gave, you see everything I'm just saying now. He warned them, they never listened. He told them this thing will come back to haunt you guys. But because it was for them political gain, one person can dictate who a whole state will vote for. They use the basics of religion and tribe, right? Why in this Western region, one person can even challenge the Oba if his view is not for the good of the people. But in the North, they never have a view. Their view is the view of the emir or any their governors. When you want them many years ago, it was neglected. Today, that is why we have all this mess that we currently have today. Even today, if you still tell the Northerners that this is the issue we have in this country, people have contributed massively to the problem we have today. They see you as their enemy, the enemy of the North. They tell you the North will never forget. When you are telling them these problems, but today, even the elites are not doing anything about it. I heard only last year, the child birth in Nigeria was 4 million. The full of EU does not have that figure. And when the people giving birth to these kids does not have means to take care of them. Imagine a poor farmer breeding 100, 200 kids without educational background, releasing them to the society to create a mess of the society. Imagine having the highest number of out-of-school kids in one region. The region that has the poorest people in one region. That is why we are in most of the release we are. Nigeria is very, very poor. It is because of this region. They say Nigeria have out-of-school kids is because of this same region. India has 1.45 billion population. But can you imagine that Nigeria is the capital of the world and India is not? Because of education. Can you imagine that a majority of out-of-school kids are from Nigeria, probably not? And India that has how many billion is not on that list. Majority of the people everything that is going wrong in Nigeria come from the North. And this should be addressed. I'm not saying this in a place to discredit the North. The North has also contributed a lot to the development of this country. But the fact is that they've contributed more backwardness, more evil than good to the growth of this country. Right? Where other countries are competing for industrialization of their country, other people are competing to bring Sharia law to a secular state. In some places in Nigeria today, there are things you cannot do. Right? You might even lose your life. Is that growth? Same thing that was done many years ago that Awolowo warned them of, and they never listened. Today they are still doing on that thing that will bring on that problems for us in the future. And nobody is currently addressing this. Right? The difference between Awolowo and Tinubu are so vast. In Awolowo's cabinet, it was all about perfection. People who are antecedents, who are goal-driven. That was the people Awolowo placed in all the departments of government. But in Nigeria, some of the people who are minister, you will wonder how these people became minister, because they don't even know their left from their right. All they do is attack opposition party if they feel that their interest is not guaranteed. What they want is praise singers, not people who will tell them the obvious fact, the truth, the naked truth. How can you tell a bishop to apologize because he said the truth? What he said was obvious. It was obvious. Not there's nothing like it was unfiltered truth. Right? The same government who applauded Bishop for speaking against Jonathan now are angry because the same bishop is speaking against them. Is this not hypocrisy? Right? And this government who promised a lot of change have disappointed the vast majority of the population. This is one of the government that came into office with unpopular vote, because vast majority of the people vote against this ticket. They came into office by miracle. Instead of to make history for good, they are making evil history. Right? Me, personally, I just feel that this country, the way it is, if we don't match break with the level of irregularity in government, it will be very, very difficult for us to accomplish anything. You see the way Obasanjo has the power, has everything in his disposal to position Nigeria for greatness, and he failed. That is, and now all you can just do is complain with that, because I believe that he did the best he could, the little he could, but he would have done more.